Greg is on a lesson tonight, which will require you to stay muted, but your instrument is handy and we're going to do a major scale together. So if you didn't get your instrument, get it now. If you don't have an instrument like a drum that you want to haul around, then whistle with us, okay? Just work with us, do something, okay? Yeah, a harmonica works, okay? So have your instruments ready. It's the 4th of July coming up. And typically we're getting ready for tribute to the troops, but that's not going to happen. But I don't want you to forget that on the 4th of July or thereabouts, we celebrate freedom, and jazz is all about freedom. This American art form that we get to perform and play together with is an American art form called jazz, and it really does represent freedom in music and freedom outside the music. So I wanted you to celebrate all you can on the 4th of July, remembering how free we are and how lucky you are to play a musical instrument. Happy 4th of July. With that, Greg, we turn it over to you.
Okay, well, Mo, I have to speak to what you just said about jazz representing freedom. To me, jazz is the ultimate in democracy.
Yes.
Where each person brings their ideas and their skills and their voice. And when you come to a group, each person brings that with them. But the success of the group depends on how well you negotiate and come to consensus as to what you will do and how you will proceed. And the music is best when you are genuinely in a consensus. So for me, that is the ultimate in democracy.
Very well said, Greg.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna talk about scales tonight. And
so now that we have this democracy, go ahead and be a dictator, Greg. Take it from here. And we're going to work for you.
Well, if this is a dictatorship, it's a benevolent dictatorship.
Oh, thank you so much. She's all yours, boy.
I really don't like that term, but anyway.
Oh, really? So, okay. we retract that. Okay.
Thank you. So it has been noticed that we could use a little more structure in how we go about working with these scales. Some people pick them up and run with them. Other people may need a little more assistance or support. And as a teacher, what you do when that happens is you scaffold the skills. And in teaching, it's called scaffolding in any subject. So we're going to try and break what we're doing down into smaller bits and work it through together so that we can get closer to being on the same page with what we can do with the scales. I hope everybody's happy to do that. So first of all, I'd like you to look at the document that is the 1 through 8 scale patterns 1 through 8. And we have the first pattern, which has a 1-8-2. The dashes are really, for me, arrows ascending or descending to the next step that you see. And if you see a dash or an arrow, if you will, then that means that you play all the notes inclusive, 1 to 8 and then 8 down to 2. So you ascend to 8 and descend to 2. And then in the next column, you have the rhythm that will be played. And you have a quarter note and 6/8 notes in the first measure, and a quarter note and 6/8 notes in the second measure, excuse me. And then you repeat it. So you have a 4-bar phrase altogether, and you play the pattern itself twice. And we discussed giving the scale steps numbers. So 1 being the first step of the scale, and 2 being the second step of the scale, and 3 and 4, and so on. Now, Cynthia has lent another document, and that is one that has the scales written out in the key of each instrument transposed for that instrument. So if we're talking about B-flat concert, it has a version for the B-flat instruments, for the E-flat instruments, and for the C and bass clef instruments. Violinists, we have another key that is a key that is more friendly to the violin, key of A. We're going to do some things in B flat, but we're also going to do those things in A so that we can all participate. If there is a string player who'd like to play with the B flat stuff too, great. If there's a wind player who'd like to play with the concert A things, great too. Although that scale is not transposed for the transposing instruments. So before I go on, are there any questions about what I've said so far? Okay. Well, I hope you understand through seeing me teach that I love questions and I love supporting people who have questions. I know it takes courage to ask questions in front of a group, and I celebrate that courage. So I just want you to know, anybody who asks a question, I am there with you. And it delights me that you summoned the courage to talk and speak and ask questions and get more information. So playing that first pattern in concert B flat. So B flat instruments, trumpets, clarinets, and tenor saxophones, you have the C major scale. And it's on that page for you. E flat instruments, you have the G major scale. And bass clef instruments and flutes and violins, if you wish, have the B flat major scale. And the key signatures there for you. So for B flat instruments, you have the C major scale, no sharps or flats. For the E flat instruments, you have the G major scale, 1 sharp, F sharp. For the C instruments and bass clef instruments, you have concert B flat, 2 flats, B flat and E flat. Okay, so just to hear what that first scale pattern sounds like. This is scale pattern number 1. I'll do that with the metronome so you can hear the time go by. This tempo is 67 beats per minute. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Too fast. Let me speed it up. This is 78 beats per minute. Okay. So you have the scale step numbers, and I just went right up to scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I want to encourage you now to mute yourselves and to fool around with that. See if you can get it under your fingers, and then we'll play it together. Go ahead and do that now. All right. Any questions so far? Okay, so let's play together. Keep yourself muted. You'll hear me playing and play along with me. I'll give you 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, any questions now? Okay, great. Pattern 2, going down to the second pattern, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ascending and 4, 3, 2 descending. So it's just one up, the first step up to the 5th step and back down, and you do it 4 times, and you do it in all 8th notes. So I'll play that for you. 3, 4. I hope I did it 4 times. I might have only done it 3. So go ahead and practice that. Mute yourself and go and practice that. Okay, that one's the easiest one. So let's play that together. One, 2, 3, 4.
Want chocolate brownie?
Somebody said something. Was there a question while I was playing that I did not understand? No? Just an open mic that we forgot about? Okay, strings. Let's go back and play pattern 1 in A. Wins, you can do this if you like too. So strings, this is what it sounds like. Concert A, pattern 1. Go ahead and take a second to practice that just a bit. Other players, the wind players, you guys can practice just anything you need to practice. Pattern 1, pattern 2, or something beyond that while we do this. Okay, let's try that together. Strings. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, any questions? No? Okay, great. Let's do pattern 2. I'll play it for you once.
40.
Okay. Go ahead and practice that for just a brief time. Okay, let's play that together. This is concert A, pattern 2. 1, 2, whoop, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Everyone, wins. We're going to go back to concert B flat for you, and we're going to do pattern 3. Pattern 3, you go up to the 9th step of the scale, which is one step beyond the octave. And this is all 8th notes, and you play it twice. I'll demonstrate it. So I encourage you all to practice that right now. Strings, you can practice pattern 3 in the key of A if you like. Okay, let's try that together. Concert B flat, pattern 3. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now let's try it with everybody unmuted.
I was going to suggest that. Let's all play concert B flat or strings lay out for a second. We'll come to you and we'll do key of A in a second. So everybody unmute and get ready for some craziness. I see a lot of mutes on. I'm waiting.
My friends tried to sing happy birthday to me on Zoom, and everyone was a little bit off. This is
Oh,
gonna
that's
be
what's going to
crazy.
happen. It's going to be nuts. That's right.
It's gonna be crazy.
Ron, would you unmute? We'd love for you to play with us.
Rocco.
Okay, so here we go. Pattern 3, B flat, concert. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Some of us just had to hear that, and now we have. Yay.
Greg,
Yeah.
okay, this is a Mo question, so hang in here.
All right. I'm with you,
If
Mo.
you go up nine steps, like this scale says, and you come back to 2, but
Yeah.
you start over, you actually went up to 9 and came down to 1. Do you
Well,
see?
I
What is
do.
it?
But if you look at the rhythm, when you finish the second measure, you're on 2. And when you begin the third measure, you're on 1. So your repeats are what take you back to 1.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
leader.
Okay. All right.
Got it.
I'm glad you asked that.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, everybody? Okay. Let's do pattern 3 in concert A. All the violinists, let's play it together and let's hear some more craziness.
Concert A?
Concert A.
Yeah. B flat instruments love you.
Well, the strings have loved all of our stupid conversations to this point, so I just have to include them a little bit, you know?
Thank
All
you.
right.
Hey,
You're
how many-
welcome.
Only 3
I
sharp.
don't even know what the key signature is that. How many flats are sharps?
Is that George?
No,
Who was the question? Who asked the question about the key signature?
Baranowski.
A B.
Oh, Bernowski. So you're in the key of A. You have 3 sharps: F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp.
I just had 2 glasses of wine.
Okay. We all enjoy an enhanced experience
Oh,
from time to time.
hey.
All right, here we go. Pattern 3 in the key of A. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful.
that was pattern 1.
Sorry, I was in the wrong key.
Okay.
Like it invented.
All right. So now what I'd like to do is I would like to take all the wind players and string players, if you like. We're going to play patterns 1, 2, and 3 successively. I'll play it for you once. I'll play really fast so I can get through it and you don't have to sit through it too long. Okay. But I will be playing exactly those patterns. So when we do that, you see how those patterns connect and why 1 is where it is.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back to our old tempo and play that together, but I think we should be muted. So please mute yourselves. One, two, three, 4. It's reassuring to know when I look at everybody's video picture that you seem to be ending about the same time. Congratulations.
That was B flat.
Yes, it was. All right. Let's do 1 through 3 in A.
What are we doing, Greg?
We're doing patterns 1 through 3 in the key of A concert.
Oh, okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. So I would love to stop here for a second and just open it up for anybody has any questions or ideas or things they'd like to share about all this.
This is it's helpful. It's also kind of miserable. You know, the sound quality is shite, but it's helpful.
Good.
And are we going to do all of these in this evening, 1 through 8?
Well, that was going to be my question. I was going to bring Mo into this and say, Mo, do you want me to go further tonight or should we wait and do some more next time?
It's a quick answer. I think we should hold here. But,
Okay.
But I'd like to see if everyone else has a question. I have one, but I'll hold mine off. Let's see if anybody has a question for Greg.
I have a comment
Okay.
for trombone players, which is we see these numbers and every now and then our mind thinks it's the slide position.
Mm-hmm.
And that, of course, derails us right away.
Well,
One of the things about these patterns is the more, and with anything else, but the more you work on them, the more familiar you become with them.
Sure.
And then you don't have to look at the numbers anymore.
Of course.
So you have to go through
Right.
that pain for a while, endure the pain, and with good stamina, you can get to the other side, and then it will just be, oh yeah, this is what I have to do physically and with your ear. So I feel you, Erlen.
yeah, that was a good question.
Yeah.
Comment. Erlen, you're an engineer, right?
I'm a physicist. That's close enough.
Well, you've got lots of gauges to watch. Don't watch the wrong gauge. That's all. Okay. I hope you took that the right way, Erlen, you know. Let's see. Anybody else have another question before Maxfield, stop it. It's okay. I can ask those questions. Okay.
Greg,
Yes.
this is Jan.
Hi, Jan.
I have a question that has nothing to do with the scale patterns.
All right.
I find really nicely challenging and very flexible. You can practice them in 2 registers. You can practice different keys. I think it's a great tool to just work on fundamentals. But here's my question.
Mhm.
What is it called in jazz when a soloist is playing a tune and in the middle of it, they'll insert an entirely different tune, like Happy Birthday to You?
Oh, okay.
What
Yeah.
is
So,
the word for that?
well, when a jazz musician is during an improvisation, you may hear them give a little bit of a tune,
Right,
and we call it quoting.
quoting. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew what it was, but I couldn't think of it. And Bryce did a brilliant job of that. And I don't think we ever followed up on it. It might have been longer, last year he was playing Cherry Pink and he quoted another tune in the middle of it. It was just brilliant. So,
All right.
thank you. It's just been driving me nuts and I can't.
So Greg,
Yeah.
carry on that. What if a vocalist sings the main theme of a song
Mhm.
and then breaks over to song B and then returns to song A with sound over sound, one sound into the next, one song blended over the top of another song that they sing?
Okay.
What is that
Okay.
called? Like,
In technical musical terms that has nothing to do with jazz, it's called polyphony or polyphonic texture, where you have 2 melodies of equal importance occurring at the same time.
nice. That was
Hey Greg, I have a question about the scales.
Okay.
So when I was practicing them by staying in one key and trying to go through all 8 at the same time, like
Mhm.
consecutively. But the one place where I was struggling was getting the rhythm correct while changing between 4 and 5. So changing between eighth notes and quarter
Yeah.
note triplets and staying on the beat. And so I wondered if you had any tips about that.
That is really rhythmically, that's easily the most tricky thing about this set of patterns. And to answer your question technically, probably won't solve the problem for you. but I will do that. So if you're playing eighth notes, the way that the rhythms are printed on the page through the first 4 patterns, when you get to pattern 5, you have quarter note triplets. Quarter note triplets are not the easiest thing to feel, and to explain how they work would be more confusing than helpful, probably. But I will just really go through it really quickly, where you take eighth note triplets. So if you have 4 beats with 4 sets of eighth note triplets, you have 12 notes in the measure, 3 triplets for each beat. So if I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, da 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 da. Quarter note triplets are twice as slow as eighth note triplets. So if you tied every 2 eighth note triplets together, then you would be playing quarter note triplets. And it's really easy to say that. Not so easy to play it or feel it without some assistance. So next week, when we get deeper into this, and I will definitely address that issue. But for now, what I can tell you is this: if I have quarter notes going here, 1, 2, 3, 4, eighth notes would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and quarter note triplets would go ta 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 ta. So if you can hear the metronome, you'll notice that the bottom note and the top note of those 4 notes in the triplets hits on one of the beats. The others are in between. So I'll play that for you. I'll play pattern 4 and 5. So you hear the eighth notes and you hear me transition into the quarter note triplets. So I started pattern 6 just so you could hear that. Okay, I'm not sure who asked that question. Who asked that question?
It was Christy.
Hi, Christy. Does that help?
Yeah, it does help. I think
Okay.
next week will be helpful too, just hearing it again.
Yeah, when we play it together, it will be helpful.
Okay.
That's really one of the best ways to learn, is to play with somebody else who's got it going. Okay.
And I asked that question too, Greg, before, and you said you say strawberry, strawberry, and that helped me a lot.
Good.
To
Yeah.
think of that word.
Yeah, there's other words you can use, but strawberry is definitely one of my favorites.
So are any other questions before I ask my final basic question? Anybody? Okay. So Greg, tonight, the piece of paper said B flat major scale degrees. Okay. Then page 2 were scale patterns. We get it. And what that meant was B flat major scale at the top was for concert instruments: piano, guitar, flute, violin.
Yes.
Some of us digressed from the B flat major scale to the C major scale if we were playing the B flat instruments. Correct? They were trumpet, tenor, and clarinet. So even though at the top of the, excuse me? Yes.
Go ahead.
So now the trumpets are C major scale, and in the C major scale, that is the concert scale, correct? B flat is the concert. B flat is the concert scale. Yes, correct. And no flats, no sharps. Just wanted to go over the degrees of information here that we have to get to the scale, if you know what I'm trying to say.
So I'm going to paraphrase that a little bit, because there might have been something a little confusing about it. You have B flat concert major scale. The key of B flat concert has 2 flats, B flat and E flat. If you're playing a concert instrument, then those are the notes that you'll play, and you'll be playing in your B flat. If you're playing a B flat instrument, you have to transpose up a whole step or 2 half steps from B flat to C. B flat to B, B to C, that's 2 half steps, you get to C. The key signature for C major scale is no sharps or flats. So you play C to C with no sharps or flats. Your C will sound the same as a B flat from one of the non-transposing instruments.
Well said. Got it.
Thank you.
Yeah, very well. Okay.
I have one other thing I'd like to talk about very briefly, just to help a couple people maybe who happen to be at the point where, okay, that's fine, we've been playing scales, the next thing is not a scale, it's an arpeggio. Pattern 4, 5, and 6 are all arpeggios. And you'll look at this 1 through 8 scale pattern sheet, and you'll see that there's commas between the numbers. 1, 3, 5, 3, which means that you skip. So you skip from 1 to 3, you skip from 3 to 5, you skip from 5 back down to 3, and you have those repeats. And you heard me play it, but I'm gonna play it just a little bit again. This is pattern 4 in concert B flat, 1, 3, 5, 3 in the concert B flat scale. And that's 4 of the 8 repeats. I don't think I need to go any further with it. Arpeggios are important, wind players, because that is the only way we can play the tones of the chord. We have to play them melodically. We can't play them at the same time harmonically. But we will know the notes of the chord by being able to play those arpeggios, because those are the notes of the chord. A B flat major triad is 1, 3, 5 of a B flat major scale. So in the key of B non-transposing instruments, that's B flat, D, and F. 1, 3, 5. In B flat instruments who transpose to C, that would be C, E, and G. And to E flat instruments, it would be the G major scale, so it would be 1, 3, 5 would be G, B, D. Any questions?
What should we look at?
Hey,
Oh, go
Greg.
ahead.
Hi, Ron.
I was taught with the Arbin book, and they never did the 7th and the 9th tones in their arpeggios. It was always, just straight stuff. But I noticed on I think it was the dominant 7th arpeggios, that comes very close to what you're doing here.
Yeah, it's the difference is we're playing a major 7th chord as opposed to a dominant 7th chord. So the 7th is a major 7th, or in the key of B flat A, transpose for trumpet B, transpose for alto sax F sharp. So what happens is with jazz chords, they use the 7ths and the 9ths a lot, and it's much more practical to practice those in arpeggios than just play 1, 3, 5, 3 or 1, 3, 5, 8, 5, 3.
Yeah,
like most classical musicians are trained.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Now, what's
So, Greg,
what is the diminished 7th then?
Okay. A diminished 7th, a fully diminished 7th chord is built of minor thirds.
Okay, that's like the what do they call it? I'm having a Rossmorian moment here. I can't.
Okay.
The third flat, the flatted third, flatted 6th, and a flatted 7th, right?
Not exactly. Compared to a major scale, it would be a flatted 3rd, a flatted 5th, and a doubly flatted 7th.
Doubly flatted 7th. Okay, that would be okay.
So we're running out of time now.
Okay.
If we're going to keep this at an hour, we're already way over our limit.
Right.
Sorry about that.
For everything. Well, I appreciate everyone, and we learned a lot tonight. Greg, I'd like you to wind up and tell us or share with us, what should we do for next week? The same thing? Practice it? Stay current?
Oh, yeah, I would practice what we've done, get skilled at it, do a lot of repetition, because repetition is the beast of excellence. But beyond that, understanding that the rhythm might not be perfect, Okay, we'll straighten that out later. If you get it perfect, right on.
Thanks, Craig.
You're welcome.
This is B flat and A.
The idea of including A was so that the violin players would have something equally easy to deal with.
Okay.
The answer is it's your option because the violins are
Yes.
going to get their chance in A. And if some of us are bold, we'll transpose or do what we need to be so that we're playing the same notes. How's that? Did we do that right, Craig?
Yes.
Yes.
And thank
Yeah.
you for your patience, everyone.
Yeah. Nice job. Give Greg a big
Yeah.
hand. Okay. I think that was great. I learned a lot and we've got to just now dig in and make it work. Practice, practice.